As you know, the Basant festival is celebrated at the mausoleum of Hazrat Nizamuddin Auliya every year on the eve of Basant Panchami. On this occasion, I would like to read you an extract from Nizami Bansari. It's called Nizami Bansari, written by the Deccan Prince Rajkumar Hardev. This book was originally written as Chahal Roza, and Rajkumar Hardev had become a disciple of Hazrat Nizamuddin Auliya. I have the pleasure of reading out the extract from the book, which is known as a diary of the disciple of Nizamuddin Auliya. Here it begins. A grandson of Hazrat's sister named Khwaja Sayyid Taqiyuddin Nu had died due to drinking at the young age. He was virtuous and pious and a Hafiz of Quran. Hazrat held him very dear and hoped to make him his Janisheen. Hazrat was very grieved over his death. This he had taken place before I came to Delhi. I heard that today is the earliest spring festival of the 5th of the lunar month, and I could see how crowds of people, hands full of mustard blossoms, heading for the mandir nearby, which was supposed to be a shrine of the Kalkaji Devi. Seeing them go, I too felt inclined to go and see the mandir, but I did not think it right to go there without Hazrat's permission. Besides, I had just been cleared of suspicion by the king and was afraid that attending a Hindu festival might bring fresh doubts and suspicions about me. I was standing outside with those thoughts when I saw Amir Khusro coming from the direction of Khanqah of Hazrat, and I ran to him. He congratulated me on my being saved from grave danger today. I answered that it was all due to Hazrat, otherwise it would have been the end for me. I was surprised to see that he too was carrying the mustard blossoms in his hand, and I asked, "Are you going to the spring festival with the Hindus too?" He said, "No, I took these flowers to Hazrat, but he was not there. I have been told he is at the Chabutra Yara, where his sister's grandson, Khwaja Sayyid Taqiyuddin Nu's grave is." I inquired where the Chabutra Yara was, and Amir Khusro said, "It's near Jalaluddin Khilji's Koshiklal. There is a lake there, and Hazrat has platform erected on all four sides, and here Hazrat's family members are buried. Normally Hazrat was in the habit of visiting and spending time at the edge of the lake. When the king came to know of his habit, he had a high dome built there for Hazrat to relax, and it was also to have been the place where he would be buried after his death. But Hazrat did not like it. He said, 'The dome of the sky is enough for me. I do not wish to be buried under such a dome.' When Hazrat had the platform erected, a few rooms were also constructed on the shores of the lake, and a kitchen as well. Hazrat sometimes stays there, and travelers and wayfarers are served food from his kitchen. Today, Hazrat has gone there alone, without informing anyone. Since I went to present these flowers to him, I have decided to go to the Chabutra Yara to do so. You come along and ask Khwaja Sayyid Muhammad and Khwaja Sayyid Musa to come along too, as we may help to erase his grave." I went home immediately and informed Khwaja Sayyid Muhammad and Khwaja Sayyid Musa. Both of them got ready and came out, and all three of us joined Amir Khusro. After walking for a while in a westerly direction away from the Khanqah, Jalaluddin Khilji's Koshiklal came into view. Its portico has a dome. When we reached the porch, we saw Hazrat Khadim Bashir standing there. He gestured to us to come nearer and whispered to us that Hazrat was inside the dome and had instructed him to wait outside. He has just been to visit the grave of Khwaja Taqiyuddin Nu, and when he returned from there, he appeared very grief-stricken. Amir Khusro inquired if we could go in. He answered, "I have been given no instructions about that, only that I should wait outside. But knowing his regard for you, I can say yes, go in." Amir Khusro entered the dome, and we too followed and found Hazrat settling on a stone, with his head bent down, staring at the crowd. Amir Khusro signaled to Khwaja Sayyid Muhammad. He wore his cap at the angle and went in swaying before Hazrat as he was dancing. Hazrat suddenly looked up, and seeing him like that, a smile appeared on his face, and he inquired, "Cheest, what is it?" Amir Khusro went forward and placed the yellow blossoms at his feet and said in Hindi, Arab Yar, Tori Basant Manai. Arab friend, your Basant I am celebrating. Today the Hindus are going to the place to place flowers of Basant at their deity's feet. I too have come to place flowers at mine. As soon as Amir Khusro started to sing his verse, that is, Khalq mi goyad ki Khusro bud parasti mi kunad, are are mi kunam ba khalqu alam karnist. Then Amir Khusro started to sing in Persian verse, Ashkre zamdan dabru bahar, saqiya gulbare zobada bayar. As soon as Amir Khusro started to sing these verses, both Khwaja Sayyid Muhammad and Khwaja Sayyid Musa joined him. Hazrat was in tears and he stood up and began to dance. All three of them kept adding Hindi and Persian verses while repeating the verse. Hazrat kept repeatedly saying, Ashq Royaz Amdand Abru Bahar, that is, Ashq Rez Amdand Abru Bahar, while descending. After a little while, it calmed down. Hazrat picked up the flowers Amir Khusro had brought and said, Come along to Noor's graveside. Hazrat led the way and we followed behind him. Khwaja Taqiyuddin Noor's grave was about 100 steps to the west of the doomed cupola. Hazrat went and placed their flowers at the grave of Khwaja Taqiyuddin Noor and said, Ashk Rez Amdan Dabru Bahar. Hearing this, Amir Khusro, Khwaja Sayyid Muhammad and Khwaja Sayyid Musa all began to sing this verse. Hazrat stood there and silently for a long time and then left for the Khanqah. Along the way, Hazrat inquired after the Amir Khusro and told him, today the Kotwal had taken her dev. Amir Khusro answered that he came to know all about at the court. Then he asked Amir Khusro if he was going home, and returning with him, Amir Khusro answered, May a night, and the English translation runs, May a night has poor Khusro not slept in the desire that he may sleep with eyes resting under the blessed feet of Huzur. To this Hazrat answered, and the English translation goes, Even if I saw is placed upon my brow to part my Turk, Amir Khusro, even then I will not give up my Turk. Amir Khusro bowed down when he heard this, and placing his head at Hazrat's feet, he clung to both his feet and said, so that no one can say after this that you are another and I am another. Hazrat said, Get up, Khusro, on the day of judgment, when everyone will come before their Lord with their book of deeds, and my Lord, after seeing my book of deeds, will inquire from me, Nizam, what have you brought me from the world? I will answer, I have brought you the gifts of the devotion of Khusro's heart. On hearing these words, Khusro uttered a cry and started encircling around Hazrat, immersed in a state of ecstasy. I stood by in breathless awe while Khwaja Sayyid Muhammad and Khwaja Sayyid Musa kept repeating the verse Mantu Shudam in song, and Amir Khusro danced madly around Hazrat, saying, Khana Hamd Javed, that is, that Hajj at the Kaaba searches for the house, while I search for the master of the house.